All right, we are live with
Woo!
Brigid Bites,
What's
the,
up, everybody?
the great Brigid Bites. So, right out the gate, I guess let's just talk about last night a little bit because you got first place essentially in the that shit trash that shit fire tournament. I just want to say congratulations. That shit's fucking awesome.
Hey,
Um is there anything you'd like to say about that or
I'm so blown away, honestly. I did not expect last night to go the way it went, but I'm obviously pleasantly surprised and really excited and stoked about it. So, much love to Team MUJ for putting on that contest every year. I've been watching it for years, and it was a goal to kind of be on there, even though it was terrifying a little bit, but you know, everybody showed so much love, you know what I mean? And I appreciate that so much.
it's really fucking dope to see, Bridget. I'm like super proud and like excited to see because it's like there's so much talent that came out last night and you're ahead, you got ahead of cheese. You know what I mean? So like that's a really good sign. That's a
Didn't we
really
maybe
good
tie?
sign.
I thought we maybe tied, or was that Cheesegate that we tied? That
Maybe there was a tie, but at the very, I mean, from what they were saying, it seemed like you were first place, with the most
yeah, no,
fires.
that was crazy to me. And well, I didn't really know what to expect. You know what I mean? I going into it, I almost didn't even enter the competition because I was so self conscious. I was just like, I know I'm a beginner. I'm just starting out. But that's kind of what the contest is and is for. So I put on my big girl pants and I was like, nah, let's just get some feedback and some exposure, which is always nice because
Yeah.
new jugs were going to be tuning in that hadn't heard it yet and stuff. So I didn't have like crazy expectations. So I was a little bit blown away and overwhelmed and didn't really know what to say. So no, I'm stoked though. And like, thank you so much to everyone showing love. Um, I genuinely hope that it is from a place of you're feeling my shit and not just because you want to be nice type beat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, totally.
I know that I'm a sweetie pie and everybody wants to be nice and whatever, but like I also prefer people to be real and straight with me at the same time. And I was looking forward to some feedback. So I think I caught a couple comments that I was like, okay, yeah, like that could improve. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that shit at the same time. You know what I mean?
That's like one of the best things about it is like learning something. I just want to say like I'm so glad you did submit because I was self-conscious as fuck last year about submitting my shit too. I didn't want to submit. I very last minute sent my shit in the day of the contest last year and I didn't think I'd even get past the first round. So,
Kind of how I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna. I hope I don't embarrass myself. Was kind of
yeah. I mean that and that's the thing. You really put yourself out there when you do something like this. You really are putting yourself out there because they will be honest. They will be honest as fuck, and sometimes you're not ready to hear some of that fucking criticism. Sometimes people are ready to hear it and take it the right way. I was just talking about this with Frankie on Instagram a second ago. Like sometimes you take that criticism as sweetness, and sometimes you take it like a bitter pill, and you might use it as poison instead.
right.
Um.
But I love
Anyway,
Juggalos because we don't front. You
yeah,
know, like I love that just because you're hella popular or a bunch of people co-sign you, that doesn't mean that Juggalos are gonna feel the same way. Um, and yeah, usually they're very brutally honest. You know what I mean? And I, I was ready for it.
that shit was dope, Bridget. I'm really proud of you. I think you're gonna go far in the contest. I
Gotcha.
really think you're gonna go far in the contest. Um, so I know I just sort of like got you with that question. I was told you right before we went live that I was gonna do some kind of chill questions, and then I immediately brought out the big Team MUJ stuff. Um,
Well,
but
that
um,
it's all good. Like that shit. That shit. That's always the homies. So.
it was really it was so dope to see though. Anyway, so what's your name? We already covered that, and what's your gimmick? We'll start there.
That's my gimmick. I love that. Because I love that in the Juggalo world, we all have a character that is kind of like our alter ego that we portray. And, I love that shit about jug shit. But my gimmick, yeah, no. So Juggalo first and foremost. I've been down a long time. It's pretty much my whole life. It's always been my whole life, since I can remember, since about 2003, 4, 5 era. Um, and I've been to 19 gatherings,
Woo.
and yeah, lots of shows. I've been jugging, but over the years, I have been working on different art forms. I've been playing around with art in general pretty much my whole life, and everything from dancing to drawing and writing songs. I've been writing songs actually since I was a teenager. So uh,
Really? Okay, okay, hold on. We're gonna put a bookmark in that. I want to come back to that. Um, do you remember the first song you heard when you were a kid? Like, by any chance? Like, what's the first like reaction to music? Do you remember the first time like you heard something and you're like, "Oh, okay." Like,
mhm. Yeah, so I remember my first favorite song. Actually, I remember my first favorite like two songs that I used to make my mom play for me over and over again in the car with her tape cassette. And those two songs when I was young were Collective Soul Shine and Bad to the Bone.
"Oh,
So
wow, Bad to the Bone." Holy shit, Bad to the Bone. That's what's up.
that shit.
Oh man, Bad to the Bone. I think I fucked with Bad to the Bone when I was a kid too.
Bad to the Bone. Yeah. Uh, the tape had cartoon characters' voices on it. I don't even remember what
Oh,
it was. Might have been Tom and Jerry or some kind of like, I don't know, niche something or other. Tweety Bird, maybe. I really liked
weird.
So I feel like that little skit and then Bad to the Bone playing right after it just like had me hooked. I don't know. I loved it.
So speaking of cartoons, I'll do my cartoon question. Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Love this question for sure. It's hard though because I fuck with both
I
heavily.
know. That's why it's like I like to force people to pick one.
Yeah, because I was never really a Disney kid until like I got older. I got more into Disney stuff. But God, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. You know what? Today in the mood I'm in, I'm gonna have to say Cartoon Network
Okay.
because I just bought at Goodwill yesterday season 3 of the Powerpuff Girls on DVD.
Oh,
Perfect condition, dude.
hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually on in my apartment right now, and I've been watching it, and the nostalgia is just awesome. I used to be obsessed with that show and watch the new ones every time they came out. And so it's a trip down memory lane, and I'm having fun with that. So today, Cartoon Network.
Hell yeah. Um, Here's another one in a similar vein. I don't think I've ever asked anyone this question. I kind of wrote this one with you in mind. Aliens, ghosts, or cryptids, if you had to pick one.
Hmm, good question. Oh, very good question. So aliens, cryptids. I would lean, for me personally, I would probably lean more towards the paranormal ghost spooky stuff. I like that stuff. I like studying demonology and weird things that happen like that. I like that a lot. The thing about cryptids is there's just not enough information. I could I love cryptids and I could literally like go down rabbit holes all day, but I do feel like it's still limited. I feel like paranormal
Cryptids is it's
is
like strictly stories, encounters. Like it's almost all stories. Like, and you have to take that as face value, I guess. Like, do you
all,
believe this person or do you not believe this person?
mm-hmm. Yeah, but then with the paranormal ghost stuff, I like to read books by the Warrens.
Yeah.
I like to really get into some of the local lore and things that have happened nearby. And we do that on the Strange, Dark, and Mysterious a lot. So uh, I love aliens. Don't get me wrong. That shit's tight to me too. But there's something about the paranormal that I've loved since I was a kid, as far as like the ghostly, spooky, like Halloween type shit.
Yeah. There's also like the theory that it's all connected, which I'm sure we've
Mhm.
gone into that on the Strange, Dark, and Mysterious over on Team MUJ. Shouts out to Team MUJ. Go check out the episodes that we've done over there for the Strange, Dark, and Mysterious joints. What is there 2 or 3 of those now that we've done? I think at least 2, right?
Two, I think two officially.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think 2. Um, I this is something we've brought up over there before. I'd like to bring it up over here again. Have you ever had a paranormal experience of your own? This is usually a question I save for later, but I wanted to kind of
Yeah.
front load this one.
Yeah, good question. And we have kind of touched on it on other episodes and whatnot, but like that's cool. I experienced as a teenager sleep paralysis quite a bit. That's something that happened in the house that I grew up in. I slept in the basement and I had that shit happen to me a few times, and it's scary. It was really scary because when it first happened to me, it wasn't a common thing that people talked about like it is now. It was you know, as a teenager, I did do some like online searching, and I found information on like a web, like a person built paranormal website. I'm not even kidding, where it had like little like links that you could click, and somebody who had written about these topics came up, and I had typed in the search, maybe ask Jeeves, like what the fuck is going on.com, and I came up with like kind of these answers, and I'm like, wow, is that really a thing? That must be what's like happening. And I grew up in a superstitious household. My mom didn't really force religion on me, but she's very superstitious. So obviously my mind, you know, imagination could definitely process that and see it as a possible truth. And when I started looking into ways to deal with it, it actually helped. So, you know, I feel like that's kind of what I was experiencing at the time. So that was really interesting. I've seen spirits. I I feel like I speak with the dead a lot. Actually, I've that's like something that, and I don't mean out loud necessarily, but I do feel like I get messages from people in my life that have passed away, and uh, other kind of spirits that hang out with me and hang around my energy. I feel like I catch their messages sometimes, type shit. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, like
The
I,
veil is thin type of thing.
yeah, yeah. So no, I very much believe in that stuff is very much a reality in my day to day. I'm a hermit crab. I'm a loner. Um, and I'm very like sensitive, you know what I mean? So I that shit is very much real in my existence and reality.
Yeah. Um when you initially looked up stuff about sleep paralysis, what were the answers that you found? I wanted to go
It
back
was
to that.
it was a little extraordinary. It was a little suck you by, you know, sexual energy heavy type, like
Mm.
fear mongering a little bit. But basically what I got out of it is like a leeching spirit, as type of energy vampire type, be someone or an entity that feeds off your fear, and um that adrenaline that builds up in your body creates, you know, energy that these entities can feed off of, type shit, you know.
And is
And
that what you felt was going on with you?
it was scary. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I
Mm.
mean, more or less I felt like someone was trying to scare me for sure,
Mm.
you know what
And
I
then
mean?
that in a way is an energy vampire in itself. Yeah,
Yeah,
being a fear vampire almost.
felt like I was being fucked with, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm in. It's like the internet provided a little bit of like kind of comfort or whatever, but you know, not much. I talked to
Yeah,
my
almost like the opposite effect though, maybe because you're like, "Oh shit, what
yeah,
is this thing that's visiting me?"
because yeah, people go to the extremes so often, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I talked openly with my mom about what like happened, and we used like white sage in our home pretty frequently. You know, we would sage, and we would bless and things like that. So, you know, it was like a common, it was like a not a weird thing to talk about in my house, I guess. But it was
So
still weird. It was still something I wasn't trying to just like bring up. You know what I mean? It was freaking me out, but I don't
you
know.
said you saw a ghost too?
I feel like I've had a few prominent experiences with apparitions. Um, like when the veil is thin, I definitely see people out of the corner of my eye that aren't there type shit. Or just you just feel a presence. It's hard to explain.
Interesting. That's interesting as hell.
Shadows, another thing, like shadow figures and stuff that are definitely there, but like hard to explain, I guess. I don't know.
I I like the idea that it's in the peripheral vision a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like because it's like that's also sort of like it's on the edges. You know what I mean? It's like that's interesting as shit to me. I think Anne, yeah, Anne asked, how does she talk to the dead? Does she have a Ouija board?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, no, I don't. um Spirit boards are, um it's a in the field, it's a controversial topic. Some people
ooh,
will say that they're really bad news, and you shouldn't mess with them. Some people will say that you can use them to talk to angels, and it's a heavenly a tool. But um I a book that I read with quotes from the Warrens actually spoke on this. And the Warrens, if you don't know, they're a couple who are demonologists, and they're extremely well known in the paranormal field. But
The
they talk.
Conjuring and several other movies have been made about cases that they've investigated.
Yeah. And basically what they say is, like, if spirit wants to communicate with you, it will do so regardless, and in a way that you can understand and that you can comprehend. Maybe somebody else wouldn't even notice type shit, but it will be
Mm,
speaking to you in ways that you get and understand. And there are entities out there that are looking for some sort of, maybe they're bored. They even said that sometimes they're just bored and looking for something to do, and normally wouldn't fuck with you, but you bust out a Ouija board where you don't really know what you're doing. And these images have been used over centuries to conjure these spirits for whatever purpose. Sometimes people want things, or they're trying to speak with somebody else. Basically, what they said is, you're opening a door that anybody can walk through, whether you're asking them to or not. And sometimes
yeah.
motherfuckers that wouldn't fuck with you normally will see that door open and be like, hey, I got nothing better to do than to fuck with this person, take their energy and give them bad advice, and watch the whole shit show go down.
Wow. Have you seen the movie Talk to Me yet?
No, but it reminded me of that. What is that Kevin Bacon movie where he's like, talk to me?
Oh my God. You need to see Talk to Me, I think, because that whole everything you were just saying just was reminding me of the movie Talk to Me. I just saw it like the other day and I'm like,
Is it a
it's
newer?
yeah, it's a newer horror movie. Essentially, it's very much a parallel to like a Ouija board where it's like a party game where these people grab this hand and they let a spirit into them for like as like a party fun thing to do.
Okay, so
And
they're being possessed on purpose for entertainment.
yeah, yeah. And it gets the part where you're talking without spoiling it too much. The part you were talking about of letting things in that might want to fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
That
Just
part, yeah. But I don't
yeah,
want to spoil it too much, like, but that's like
or
a key
cause
part of it.
just like they just want to cause chaos. And if you're that bored, you got nothing else going on, and you want some chaos in your life, sure, fuck with the Ouija board. But I feel like I don't need that. To answer Homegirl's question, and thank you. It really is like, it's more of like a feeling or a note. I, I've had friends that pass away, or I had a friend once that passed away, right? And um, then a year later or so, my dog passed away. My friend who passed away was really a good dog person. And on the day, and he liked Fireball. Okay, he liked Fireball. And on the day that my dog had to pass away, I was really, sad. And I went to the grocery store, and literally I had just got done like putting him down. Have you ever seen a Fireball semi? A whole fucking semi with a big Fireball logo just on the side of it?
Mm-mm.
Or had. I had never seen one of those in my entire life. And I pull into King Supers and there's a big Fireball ad. And I'm just like, at that moment, there was a certain perfect timing to that moment that was like, I got your dog. He's,
Yeah.
he's good. He's with me. And I'm still here. I love you type beat.
When
Like
stuff
that's
like that happens, you can't help but put some sort of meaning on it because it's too big of a coincidence.
right. And that's just one example. Like the first thing that popped in my head, shout out like Rob, much love to my homie, Juggalo homie Rob, who passed away. He's been on my mind lately. So that was just one moment, but like my grandfather has passed away. So there's things that I see that remind me of him. And I also, people probably think this sounds crazy, but I feel like certain spirits walk with me. One of them being Bob Marley. Bob Marley, I feel, is a spirit that walks with me. I see him like at perfect moments, at perfect times. I feel like his energy is around me a lot and has been since I was like a child. I really liked I Shot the Sheriff when I was a kid. And One Love, and his music is just so, his music and his message are very juggalo, honestly, um and pure. And I still believe he had a lot to tell the world that he didn't get to.
Yeah,
um
100%. He definitely way too soon. Way too
mhm.
soon.
Yeah, it's just vibes. It's just vibes. I don't literally like sit there and I'm like, hello, spirit.
Yeah. It's more of a that's what I was going to say about it. It's more of a vibe thing probably than an actual typed out message.
Sometimes it blows my mind. I'm like, I'm literally talking to this motherfucker right now, but that's just in my head. I'm not like actually like talking to somebody. I don't know.
No, I get it. I totally get it. How did you come to first find the Insane Clown Posse and the Juggalodium? What was the first thing you saw, and how did you come into the culture? How did you actually
I
come to
heard
find the Juggalos?
I heard the music first. I feel like I might have seen like Hatchet Men stickers and wondered what they were, but I didn't combine that stuff until later on. But I first heard Riddlebox in a car, and um, basically, long story short, ended up getting the CD and just bumping it and obsessing over it until a friend of mine gave me The Great Malenko Burned, which I then bumped and became obsessed over, and then went down the LimeWire and Napster rabbit holes, and undergroundjuggalos.net and all of the,
Oh shit, yo, that's one I haven't thought about in a fucking minute. Is that
remember,
one of the ones that had like MP3s for you to download and shit?
it was like just click and play. It was like,
Mm,
and it was all rare. It was all shit that
yeah,
have like out. Remember there was like Violent J singing The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson. There was ODB and ICP Dirty and Stinkin' was on there.
yeah, yep, yep. There's a
Uh
couple of those sites out, like that's definitely how I got like into a lot of shit. Like horrorcore.com back in the day used to have just
I remember
everything on it in real
it
player,
actually,
and you could just click and play like you said.
yeah. It was everything and anything. And I met a couple juggalos in high school, and started rolling with them, and everything that they liked, I got into. I got real heavy into Tech Nine. I'm from the Midwest, and Tech Nine was kind of taking over the underground at the time. And it was amazing. It was exciting. It was hyphy. And so I got real into that, and he was like a juggalo back then. You know what I mean? It
Oh yeah.
wasn't Tech Nine. It was like, this awesome fucking rapper is down with jugs and paints his face and has this awesome imagery and these dark raps, and he doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks about it type shit. Like that was exciting at the time. It was, And then of course the Insane Clown Posse. I mean, I was everything about the Insane Clown Posse was perfect to me. And it almost made me laugh how much people hated it. And I loved that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, really? You guys don't like this shit is so dope. The way it fucking just made me laugh and brought up my spirits, and like the beats were so fire, so fun to sing along to. The Great Malenko is a masterpiece. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't care. Like that album could, to me, withstand the test of time to any album out there. And
I think you could definitely put it up against a lot of definitely hip hop albums. Put the Great Malenko up against almost any other hip hop album. It's gonna be a tough time, I feel like.
right, it was controversial. You know what I mean? These guys were like wrestlers. They were so like
Yes.
and watching. I mean, Jay was fascinating. I couldn't take
Yeah.
my eyes off of Violent J for fucking 2 seconds, and everything he did, I was obsessed with and wanted to know more about. You know, like he was so captivating, and he still is. You know, but back then it was like on high. You know, and he was just Shaggy too was so just like funny, and he was like he's still funny. He's always funny, but you know what I mean? Back then it was new. Back then it was like
It was mysterious too because you hadn't seen their faces. You didn't know that they were Joe and Joey. You didn't know any of that stuff that like a lot of juggalos just take for granted now. Like
that's
like
true.
the I mean Violent J going on Howard Stern and acting crazy and Shaggy saying next to nothing, but when he does say something it's fucking equally as hilarious. It's like a perfect comedy duo. It's amazing.
Shaggy in the back of the vocals, like fucking just saying the most out of pocket shit. I fucking think,
Yeah.
who are these guys? When are we hanging out? You know what I mean? Like it was such a vibe back then. Like everybody wanted to hang Jay and Shags, and love it.
I love that. I love that. That was great.
Like got bullied and made fun of for liking them so bad, you know? Like I people like want to make me cry because I liked this band. I thought that was insane.
Well, the Eminem thing, did you come up when all the Eminem stuff was going down too?
A little bit. That wasn't as much of an issue. I liked that because I was a big fan of Eminem, and I loved that they were doing a rap beef. I thought that both sides were fucking killing it, and it was entertaining as fuck. For me, I dated this guy who was really into Pantera and like metal.
Oh.
All of his friends used to fucking go at me for no
The
reason. So,
metalheads, huh? Yeah, I relate to that. The metalheads used to make fun of me pretty bad for liking any rap at all.
yeah, and especially ICP. Oh, like, oh God, I can't even. And like, normally I didn't care, but on my sensitive days, I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Dude, and it's really it's like ICP and new metal, it's kind of the same thing. Like they would always get shit on and be the butts of jokes for music snobs and shit. But that shit is really starting to change. Like for both ICP and new metal, it's like now there's like all these YouTubers and fucking and blogs and vlogs fucking about how it's underappreciated and misunderstood. And juggalos are mostly just like, yeah, no shit. Like,
We've been
um, yeah, sorry. How about
fresh. It's not our fault. Y'all are just now catching on. Jesus Christ.
exactly. I
You know,
love the part.
it's frustrating a little bit. It's like we've been fucking saying this shit's fire for so long, and now y'all want to come around and act like it's cool. Okay.
I love the part where you said that like ICP is like it's like everything you want it to be. It's like that's so how it is for me too. There are just it's like so much of everything that I love in one package. It's
And
amazing.
the good vibes and the flavor and the laughter, but then they also really know how to express emotion, how to like go deep into topics that other people won't touch. They'll go there, and they're not afraid of anything. They're simply fearless with their music, and that shit alone is dope to me. And I feel like so many artists that I've grown to love have been talked about like they're trash. So at some point, I kind of got desensitized to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody thinks the music I like is garbage. That's fine. Like they're wrong.
And at the end of the day, it's also subjective anyway. So it's like I never really, I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole other topic.
Well, I mean like Ouija Mac, for
Yeah.
instance. You know, and when I was younger, I was into boy bands. Everybody said boy bands were bad and sucked and were terrible, and girl bands too. And I'm like, well, I like it. Like this shit's catchy. I will sing this song in my head all day because it's so good. You guys can say it's bad, but it's fucking good.
We all like different things. So at the end of the day, it's like I don't know, and that's a whole different subject. We can go on forever with that. Um, for what, how would you describe Juggalesque to anyone who has not heard of it before or is unfamiliar with Juggalesque?
Juggalesque is the Juggalo burlesque troupe, man. It's a burlesque troupe comprised of me and my friends and um, artists that we have met along the way. You know, it's an ever growing, ever evolving, ever changing production of women who enjoy the art of burlesque and juggalo shit.
And how did you become involved in Juggalesque?
Um, I made it up.
You're the creator of Juggalesque even.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
fucking dope, Bridget. That's so dope. The Juggalesque is super important to me. I just want to pat you on the back
Really?
because
You.
it is so much about the art rather than just being like a titty and ass show. Because there's so many events at the gathering that are titty and ass shows.
Mhm.
And I just think it's just so dope that it's like something that's a little bit more about the art of it rather than just being a titty and ass show. You know what I mean?
Thank
So
you.
I just want to just give you props for that because it's awesome.
The thing is,
Um,
like, we're a free spirited culture. We love titties, we love bodies, we love asses. We ain't scared, we ain't afraid. You know what I'm saying? But for a long time, I felt like there was something missing. I felt like there was there was a bridge that needed gapped between the masculine and the feminine in our culture and the art and how the women were being portrayed and even in the media the and just whatever the fuck. um but there was like this gap and I'm like I don't feel represented right now and I want to see more. Like I think we can do better was kind of my attitude. I'm like I see all these beautiful, amazing, talented, creative juggalettes around me who have all these amazing ideas and they're just so uh beautiful and unique. And I'm like, I'm not seeing that being represented at the forefront of the Juggalo community. And that's what I wanted to see change. And I entered the Miss Juggalette pageant in 2013. And during that, I met a lot of the women that would become staples in the Juggalesque troupe, you know, and we became very close just off of that Miss Juggalette competition. And so they were some of the first performers that I reached out to when I decided I wanted to do this and I was gonna do it. And so, you know, one day I worked up the courage. I wrote up like an email type beat on Facebook and I sent it out to all of the girls that I thought would be down to put this together with me and to kind of create something organic that can be ours specifically. No boys, no offense, you know, but, you know, it's for the girls type shit. And luckily they were down, you know what I mean, like they were in for the cause and they thought it was an awesome idea. Now mind you, I had never done burlesque or stripped before and a lot of these other girls hadn't either. Some had, you know, but a lot of us, this was like a new art form, but it just fits so well in the Juggalodium that I feel like the other girls were just as excited about it as of the prospect as I was. And so we put it together. We, you know, presented it to psychopathic, and they let us share a stage slot that same gathering. So we put it together. We put the troupe together in 2017. 2018, we were like half and half an act at the gathering. So that was really cool. We
And
went
then
on with,
it obviously grew from there.
yep.
The what's so dope about it is it's just such an obvious like carnival type fit too, though, you know, like I don't know, like I just think it's such a perfect fit.
It's the oldest art forms. It's like it's, how do I put this? Endless possibilities. Completely, you could go political with it, you could go horror with it, you could go comedy, you could just go strictly sexy, you could, like, there's just so many avenues of expression for
Yeah.
it, and it's very feminine. It celebrates the feminine spirit, which I wanted to do so bad.
Now you said you had no experience in burlesque before
No.
Juggalesque, but did you have experience in dance before?
Yeah, so I was a competitive cheerleader for many years. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Sorry, one second.
You're good.
Talking a lot. Sorry about my voice too. I talk a lot for work, so I'm a
Oh, you're
little.
good. You're good, and you sound fine.
I did. I I was in dance classes starting young. You know, 4 or 5 years old, and I stayed at it. I got into cheerleading in high school, and yeah, I did really well, and I ended up on some competition teams and also an all-star team, and we ended up winning nationals in Indianapolis in, I think, 2007, or no, sorry, 2004. 2004 we won nationals. That was tight. Um, so that was a big part of where I gained, first of all, confidence in front of a crowd. Um, the ability to work a crowd is something that, you know, I learned how to do with cheerleading. Also projecting my voice, um, remembering rhymes. You know, you
Yeah.
name, like, it was a big part of finding who I am as a young girl, and then also working towards goals and being disciplined. You know, you have to meet certain expectations when you're on a competition cheerleading team. That shit is, they treat it like the military, bro. Like, that shit is so serious, and it's like consumes your whole life. So yeah, that's something that I haven't talked a lot about, so I'm glad that you asked, you know.
I heard you hints. You said something earlier in the interview about it, so I put a little mental note to bring it up later when we got to this section. So I'm glad I did ask about it.
And
You've danced on stage for Ouija at the gathering as one of the monster girls. Um, what was that experience like? Can you talk about that a little bit?
hell yeah, hell yeah. So I got to do that twice. It was amazing both times. First time 2021, um like, they literally hit me up on the way while I was like driving to the gathering, like, hey, you know, are you able to do this? And I think that they, I was dancing to Ouija's music on TikTok for like a couple, you know, a year or two before any of this transpired. So they knew that I was, you know, down, and knew that I'd be gathering. So Kev Buck hit me up and was like, hey, you know, can you fucking um be part of the show? I was like, fuck yeah. And that was really great. So Lainey Chantel did our makeup for
Yeah.
that. So that was an awesome experience, spending time with Lainey, getting to know her. This, I didn't realize that she was dating Violent J. I didn't know if she actually even was at the time yet. But she did such a great job on our makeup, and she was really inspiring to me. Our conversation was really awesome, and it's stuck with me. So much love to her. Shout out to Lainey. You know, rest in peace
Rest in peace.
to
Rest in
her.
peace.
She was just so awesome, and I really enjoyed my time with her. And then obviously the show was insane. Like, I'm a huge Ouija Mac fan. All right, like, I love Ouija's music. Devereaux is my fucking probably favorite producer of all time. I got to meet Devereaux backstage. He was standing back there. So all the goons were back there, obviously, backstage. So Shaggy the Airhead, and I believe Darby was back there, all the homies, DJ Chunk and stuff. And I was able to walk up to Devereaux, and we hadn't met yet. And I was like, "Hey, are you like?" Yeah, and I was like, "I am a big fan," you know. And I got to shake his hand and give him a hug, and he said, "Thank you," and he was just so cool. And you know, we were working, so I couldn't talk much, but seeing that crowd while on stage was something I'll never forget. That was probably the biggest crowd I've ever danced to for Ouija Max music, which I fucking love his music so fucking much. And you can probably see it when I dance because I know every lyric, I know every fucking beat.
In 2021, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure 2021 was the year that he got to headline the first time he headlined one of the nights. So
You're
that
right.
was a big moment. I remember that crowd was fucking packed out. It was crazy. I remember that shit. So that had to be, yeah, that was probably a trip. I can only imagine.
Like butterflies for real, man. Like that shit was awesome to me, and it was such a gift. And so, you know, thank you again, Ouija Mac, for having me. That was epic. And they needed girls again another year, and so, you know, hit me up. I was free and available and ready to go. And so you know, we ran that shit again. That was cool. um we did was it Route 17? That was probably my favorite of the second show, him performing Route 17, and we all interlocked our arms and like basically skipped around the stage, the girls and the goons. That was so ethereal to me. It was so spiritual. It was so like we were all like being guided to the other side and skipping along like on our way there. Like that was a trip to me.
Like we're off to see the wizard type beat almost.
Like, and that blew my mind. It made me, you know, feel emotional. Like, and that set was it 6 Foot Hatchet. It was like people played that night, and I believe that was the video that he
Yeah.
used, in which I'm in. So I'm in that video, and then the Killing Spree video for those moments too. Which this is all great dreams come true for a young Let. So I guess.
That's so fresh. And I think that second year, 2022, that was when he was doing the EDM like interludes and stuff, right?
Yeah, show me your butthole and whatnot.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because I remember y'all coming out for the EDM interludes and shit. Um, okay, let's I'm gonna do this question LHRPG has on the screen right now. Face paint, mask, or bare face, which is the dopest gimmick in your opinion?
Ooh, just in general for like artists.
I guess so, yeah. Or maybe for yourself or for other artists. Maybe just asking for yourself what you think is the best, I guess.
I don't have a preference. It irritates me when a mask makes it so that I can't understand a person's lyrics. I will say that's fucking annoying as shit.
Yeah, same.
I don't mind face paint because I think it's an art form, and you know, it
Yeah, for stage performances, he said.
yeah, it has it has like tribal connections to it, and I love a good face paint. So I can't hate on a face paint. I know a lot of people do, but if you're willing to take the time to paint your face for everything, more power to you, in my opinion. Like, show off your art, do your shit. I like the face paint, all right, and I like the masks too, as long as I can hear you. Me personally, for stage, I'm gonna go by vibes for one. Whatever I feel like. I'm very much a do what I feel in the moment type person, um, and I only do what I want to do. So if I don't want to paint my face, I'm not gonna paint my fucking face, you know. But if I want to paint up that night, I want to do it. I think that Juggalo face paint looks awesome on stage. You know, being kind of a theater nerd too, I've done a little bit of research on what looks good on stage, and same with dancing and cheerleading. You have to wear certain makeup and whatnot, and Juggalo face paint stands out because the white catches the light really well and the
Yeah.
shadows. And so I do like face paint on stage as well, but I think it's a vibe type shit. It depends on the artist. Yeah, it depends on the artist.
I have my that shit trash, that shit fire section right here, but we already talked about that. Just congratulations once again on that.
Thank
Um,
thank you guys so much for fucking showing me love, for real. For
I
real.
completely jumped the gun right out of the gate with that one. um, how did you get? I know earlier this is a sort of a bookmark question too. You said you had started making music at 16, or you started writing music at 16. You said.
Writing songs as a teenager, I have all these emotions, man.
Do you
Oh,
remember your first song that you wrote?
no. So
Okay.
I was an emotional mess, bro. Oh, no, I was, I didn't have the easiest childhood, and I also felt sorry for myself. You know what I mean? So I went to some dark places, and it was always an expression for me, a way to write out my feelings and stuff. But I also was such a big fan of, like, as a young girl, Britney Spears, Pink, Christina Aguilera, fucking Shania Twain, Deanna Carter, TLC. Like, I could keep going, Missy Elliott, all this stuff. So, country music. I loved like the Dixie Chicks and stuff. I'm from the Midwest, so that was around a lot. And all these empowering female artists out here that I'm watching and growing, how could I not, you know, express myself in that same way? Like, these women are my idols. These women I'm watching and looking up to are writing their feelings and pouring their heart out on paper. And so I was doing the same thing. Do I know if any of it was any good? Who knows? Like I said, I was very emotional, and that's part of the reason why I didn't start maybe making music for a long time, was because it's so personal to me to write. It's so, like, I don't know, I gatekeep it a little bit. And
Do you so Hatchet Girl is only about a year old. When were you recording music before then at all?
I had been on a couple of friends' tapes, you know what I mean? But nothing that had seen the light of day. And
Okay.
I had
So,
wanted to make music forever, since before even Juggalesque. But it was almost like the carnival said that Juggalesque had to come first. There was a lot of forces outside of myself keeping me from making music, but also my internal critic,
mm,
that I can't. Like, I can't be a rapper. I'm a white girl from Iowa with, and I'm like, the imposter syndrome will get to you if you let it, and I also experienced watching a very close friend of mine deal with some pretty traumatic shit because she was a rapper. You know what I mean? And that was difficult to witness. And also, while I'm sitting here like, okay, I love creating and I want to make music someday, but damn, am I gonna fucking experience that same shit? And if I do, how will I deal with it? You know, how can I protect myself, and is it worth it? For me, I decided fuck yeah, because I just want to fucking make music and I'm sick of waiting. I don't give a fuck if anybody likes it. I don't give a fuck if it's bad. Like, I like bad stuff too. Like, it's just like, I don't care anymore type. It was almost like I got pushed to like this breaking point of like, I swear to God, if I don't fucking make music soon, I'm gonna lose my shit.
well,
'Cause I love
kudos to you for actually making it. Kudos for you for actually doing it, because a lot of people would just go their whole life and never actually do the damn thing.
it takes a little bit of oomph. It takes a little bit of balls, which I have, and that just comes from life experience. Confidence comes from life experience at the end of the day. And I've had a lot of life experience, and I've gotten through a lot of shit. I've gotten through a lot of times. And I feel like also there's a reason for everything. There's a reason I wasn't able to make music for so long, because I wasn't ready, or I wasn't coming yet from a place where people could look up to me. Because regardless if you want that to happen or not, when you're making moves, people are going to look up to you, and people are going to want to know what you have to say. And when I'm in a place of disempowerment, if I'm in a place of not living my best life, not living my truth, or not proud of myself. Who am I to fucking make music and like put my fucking words out there? You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
almost, I had to kind of go through some things and become who I am right now or who I was a year ago to start. And like, I believe everything happens for a reason and it was divine timing, but shit, I do wish I could have maybe made music earlier, but we're here now.
You're here now. That's the most important thing. You have 2 projects out, Hatchet Girl and Pumpkin Spice. Both came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any
And Black,
teases for any new projects?
Black Widow, the single too came out. And yeah,
Oh, Black Widow the single. That's right. Yeah.
yep. Yeah, I've got things in the works. I've got some beats that I have acquired that I'm working on right now. I got a project with Elevated Fusion coming out soon. So yeah, I got some things in the works. Always wheels are always turning. I'm a single mom and I work and I have a busy life. So I do what I can. You know what I mean? I'm doing it by myself. I don't really have any help. So that can be a good thing because you learn from scratch, you know, and it's a slower process, but you get a real in-depth vision of what needs to be done. But it's slow. So
I
slowly.
have later in my notes. I just want to stop and give you props. I have later in my notes. I just want to give you props for being a good single mom and working hard for your kid because I see that. I just wanted to just stop and give you props for that because I had that later in my notes.
Thank you.
Um, you're welcome. Let's see. You spoke a little bit. This is also a little bit later, but I'm going to jump onto that now. Actually, no, I think we're on track here. Um, what are some of the hardships of being a female in the horrorcore Juggalo underground scene?
Good question. Good question. Well, first of all, you're always objectified from the get-go. You're, and by objectified, I mean people look at you as an object to be judged and to be uh, spoken about in their opinions. I mean, I guess that's with anything. Anytime you put yourself out there, anytime you walk out of the house as a woman, you're going to be objectified. So that's something that you have to deal with. People will think you don't have feelings. People will think that they'll reduce you to your looks, what you're wearing. They'll reduce you to um, your body parts or your hair, like your eyebrows, bro. Like, you know, like that's tough. That's always tough. To not necessarily be seen as a person can be hard. It's a boys club out here too. We all know
Mm,
that. You know what I mean? You go to a local underground small show, the amount of men compared to women that are going to be there is going to be a lot more. You know, there's a lot more guys in the scene, and that's cool. You know, to me, I'm kind of a tomboy. I don't mind hanging with the guys. That's fine to me. And I know a lot of my sisters feel the same way. You know what I mean? Because we get down on this shit heavy and whatever. But there's misogyny is a very real thing, and having being a woman, you have to notice it. You and it's unfortunate because it's one of those things that you either call it out or you be the bigger person, and you have to delegate. Another thing too is um, feeling self-conscious and maybe feeling like I should no I should reword that. There's always temptation to go outside your morals and values to get ahead in this world, if that makes sense. Or
yeah.
question of um should I be doing so that I can get ahead, or am I wrong for like kind of standing my ground or whatever? Should I be more loose on this and less on that? Like staying true to yourself as a woman can be difficult. Um, so I think that's a challenge as well. Luckily, I feel like I have a very strong sense of self and I know myself very well. So that's another reason why I'm, you know, maybe glad that I waited a little bit to make music, is because like I have a solid sense of self at this point.
You got more to speak on that, more to share on that. Life experience in music is like definitely like you said, like maybe it was only right that you wait until you had gone through those things to be able to
sometimes
speak about it.
sometimes people won't fuck with you because you're a woman. Like I've had a lot of people that will say I don't listen to female rappers right off the bat. They don't
Yeah.
like I don't even consider myself a rapper really. Cuz like if I think of rapper, I think of RA the Rugged Man. I think of Ouija Mac. I think of, like a rapper. I feel like I'm just making little tunes. I'm making dance music that I do like to rap, and I do like to rap type beat or whatever. But sorry, I'm getting off track,
No,
but
you're good. You're good.
um sorry, I lost my place. What was the question?
We're basically loosely talking about hardships of being a female in the
Oh.
underground, but I think it kind of morphed into um some other subjects.
It's a boys club out here, but at the same time I'm happy to hold it down and represent. I feel like female representation is always good. As a woman, I appreciate seeing it, and so I want the women of my scene to know that I love you and I respect you. And I am going to, when I wear these fucking symbols, it's not a gimmick to me. It's not a joke. It's not it's not something that I take fucking lightly ever a day in my life. And I don't just act any type of way. I don't just act on impulse or instinct or spew off at the mouth. I try to be a respectable individual because I rep this shit and I wear this shit every day of my life. And when you wear a symbol, you represent everybody else that wears that symbol. You know what I'm saying?
I,
And yeah, and that's where I feel like being a female, I want to represent the right way for my girls.
and I think you do a great job of that, Bridget, by the way. I think you've been getting a lot of love in the chat, and I think a lot of people would agree that you're a Juggalo role model for the females out there. Um, let's see. Oh shit, where was I going to go with this? I think there's a couple different places I can go. I think with you holding up the hatchet and the C-17, though, we'll go in this direction. I know you've spoken a few times in on Dawn Chaos and some other places. MUJ, I'm sure you've spoken on it before about the concept of gatekeeping. So
Yeah.
I know you didn't want to spend too much time on this, so we'll try to just brush past it a little bit. But basically, and we've talked about it before too, me and you. I think we have a similar philosophy on this. Gatekeeping isn't necessarily always a bad thing. And it's not always about keeping people out. I think there's a misconception that gatekeeping is all about, no, don't let them in, don't let them. Really, just as big a part of gatekeeping is letting people in, is bringing people in. Um, so I think there's too much of a weird
No,
disproportionate focus
I
on
love
the
you.
negative aspect of it.
Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
I
no,
love
you're good.
Bugs. I love the Jane Does and the Will Gates. I love Nick Bazaar. I love fucking, Strife isn't new, but he's kind of new. I love new Juggalos. Sal, fucking shout out Sal. Like I love
You're
these.
you're just listing all my favorite juggalos right now.
These people hold it down harder than most OGs.
Yeah.
You know what I have a problem with is it's not even like I said, I don't want to get too much into it because I have gone into it in the past, but it's people who just don't respect the shit, who want to claim it because they want likes on their photo, or they, whatever the fuck. People have really weird reasons right now for being a juggalo that I don't understand, but or claiming juggalo that I don't understand. But it is what it is. What I want to say about gatekeeping right now is we all know I'm pro gatekeeping, but what I want to say today is like gatekeep yourself, gatekeep your heart, gatekeep your friends. Because as much as we can try to keep creeps and weirdos and liars and thieves and fucking perverts and shit out of our scene, people front,
Hmm.
people change, people have different sides. And you really have to be careful because evil can slip in anywhere. You could think that somebody is a really fucking solid good person and it's a front. Or
Hmm.
someone's kind of a fucking asshole, but deep down they're the realest motherfucker, but they just don't put on because they've been hurt so much.
Yeah.
What you need to do is just gatekeep your heart, gatekeep yourself, and follow your intuition. If a vibe is off, trust that shit. If if a person says that, you know, they don't fuck with no fuck shit, but then they witness their boy doing some fuck shit and they don't say nothing, well, guess what, my guy? You fuck with fuck shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a very individualized thing here. And there are people with good intentions bringing people into the scene with good intentions, not realizing that this person could fuck a lot of shit up if they're not careful. And being a juggalo in this community is very important to me. And so yeah, I do have a lot of feelings about keeping it safe. I
That
think that
this is a great transition into my. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
oh no, I was done.
Okay, great. That's a great transition into my next question. What does being a juggalo mean to you?
Yeah, it's everything to me. It's everything. I've heard you ask this question to other guests before.
It's literally the first question. By the way, a little inside baseball. If you go all the way back to my first gathering of the Juggalos documentary, the first person I ever interviewed, first juggalo I ever interviewed, that's the first question I ever asked. Is what does being a juggalo mean to you?
To me, it means not giving a fuck. It means living life by your own code, and that includes moral code. But at the but know that karma is real, and that's on you to decide and decipher how you're gonna live your fucking life.
Gatekeep yourself once again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe that the carnival prefers wholesome. I believe that the carnival prefers you to be a good person and will reward you if you are. I truly feel like the carnival doesn't like fucking shitbags and will eventually they'll have their karma regardless. And being a juggalo to me is like um you know, it's this only constant in my life since I was very young. Like, I've had so many people in and out of my life. I've had so many friend groups. I've had so many just like family, there's like relatives, and just life changes, jobs, different things you go through in life. And yet being a juggalo and ICP in this community is the solid for me. And that is really important. I feel like I have support. Like this is my support system. And like I don't like I said earlier, I don't take that shit lightly. This shit is my life, and it means a lot to me. So if I seem overly serious, if I seem stuck up, or if I seem off, like standoffish, it's for good reason, because I've been in this scene for 20 years and a lot of shit's fucking happened to me, and a lot of shit has happened to the people around me, and I've seen a lot, but I still have so fucking much love for everybody who comes into this shit with a pure heart and good intentions, and for the right reasons. Dude, nothing but love. Hit me up. You know what I mean? I'm here for you, and I trust that you're here for me.
You've been, in my experience, you've been nothing but kind and supportive. It blew my mind, Brigid. You came up to us when we were down by main stage just to say hello and say that you were a fan of my shit.
Yep, I
That
remember.
like that blew my mind, Brigid. Like, because I was like, holy shit, Brigid fucking Bites likes my shit. Like, goddamn, like that just like blew my mind. Like,
I remember you kind of were surprised in the moment too.
yeah, I was shocked.
I was surprised that you were surprised. We were all surprised, but no, and it's so funny to think about how far we've come since that moment, since that first like little interaction meeting at the gathering, to now, like everything that's transpired since then has just been magical, and that's why I love the carnival.
Yeah, we're about to put out a song pretty soon here.
It was
If you could tell I'm gonna do this last question and then do some fucking some of the fan questions and stuff. The really pretentious question that I told you about earlier. Um, if you could tell the whole world one thing, what would it be?
if I could tell the whole world one thing, it would be that it's not that serious. It would be to fucking laugh a little bit, and to don't forget to have some fun on this roller coaster ride, motherfuckers, because we ain't here for long.
I love it. I love that. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. I see Whoopconda's in the chat. I want to get Whoopconda's question.
Sure.
If you were a Care Bear, if you were a Care Bear, what would be the symbol on your belly that radiates out?
Oh gosh, I love this question.
Me
A
too.
hatchet.
Just
It
I
would
was
be
like,
a,
I
it
want to
would
ask
be a
Brigid.
hatchet.
A hatchet, hell yeah.
A hatchet, absolutely.
Let me pull up the fan questions here.
Sure.
I think we had way more on Twitter than we did on Instagram. I
Hey.
think the one on Instagram was, there was only one on Instagram, and that was any new music coming.
Ooh, yes, there is. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna run inside though because I have to use the bathroom. But
Oh, you're good.
yeah, and I do have new music coming on. There's one song in particular that I'm super excited about, and I think you know about it.
Is it the one with me?
Yes, with you and Androponics. So that one is
UFO
my
party.
favorite thing right now. And then also I have stuff in the future with Spooky Hippie, with Elevated Focusion, like I said, and Jigsaw.
Hey, do you want me to play the song while you take a bathroom break?
Yeah, would you be
Let's
so kind? Let's
let's do that. I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm
Awesome.
gonna take you off the screen
So
to give you some privacy. Hold on a second. I'm gonna set this up, guys. All right. So I'm gonna play it. Let me know if this is coming through correct.
Brigid Bites.
Sound good?
Androponics. It's a UFO party. We up in this bitch, the party never ends. Clowns, aliens, and all our mythical friends. Turning up with cryptids and ghouls. This is our world. Fuck all the rules. Fuck all the rules. Fuck all the rules. Fuck all the rules. Yeah. This is our world. This is our world. This is our world. So fuck all the rules. Don't worry about time, baby, here that don't exist. You found a UFO and you packed it full of jugs. Getting high with aliens, Bigfoot's in the time age. Robert ghosts, creatures of the night. Everybody pulling up, we on some otherworldly shit tonight. Yeah. Everybody pulling up, we on some otherworldly shit tonight.
Running the past, our friends from sparkling currencies, popping off pins, but fear in the hearts of attendees. Hope this ain't Noah's Ark, you don't need to be begging on no bendies. Both planets in the dark, should have never even left where they sent me. X, think like a species, watching like a century. Think like some feces, denying you an entry. Don't call me ET, I'm but an entity. I care, change how they see me, but I'm not being amazing how they treat me. Could have been friends with me, just bring me. I brought all my friends with me. The party looking like Monster Mash. Catch me with a shorty with some monster ass. Puffing on a 40 drinking monster hash. Figure on the inside my monster stash.
our world. This is our world. This is our world. Fuck all the rules. Party never ends. Clowns, aliens, and all our friends. Turning up. This is our world. Fuck all the rules. Fuck all the rules. Fuck all the rules. Fuck all the rules. Yeah. This is our world. This is our world. This is our world. Fuck all the rules. Everybody pulling up on some otherworldly shit tonight.
All right. Hopefully that was coming through good. I'm still playing around with this new setup here. Get Brigid back in here.
Woo!
Woo! You were on the PA for a second. 1 second. Hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that come through good?
It's kind of I'm on my phone, so I think so.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of hard to hear, but man, I love that track. So
Hopefully it came out. Hopefully it was coming through good. It's hard for me to tell with because I'm on StreamYard tonight, so I don't really know. I don't really get like a visualizer of how the audio is coming through at all. I have no idea.
Really well. You know what I mean? But I don't know about, and like I said, I don't have my headphones in right now. It's just on my phone.
Chat, did it sound okay on your end, chat? It seems like they like it, so I think it sounded good.
Dude, that's probably my fucking favorite song right now. This is like my favorite Humble Among verse, probably of all.
Thank you.
I fucking love that verse so fucking much.
That was a lot of fun to do.
I haven't had a chance to like really get down with you about this verse though, real quick. So Boov, is that from Home? Are you saying Boov from Home?
Wait. Which part now?
So you have these little ad libs.
Yeah.
You're like Boov.
I don't know what I was thinking. Sometimes I just do weird shit and I don't even know.
Alien. Okay, there's this movie. It's a kids movie called Home, and the little guy, he's an alien, and he says he's a Boov.
It's not a reference to that. I can tell you, it's not a reference to that.
I was wondering though, because that's crazy that fits so well. But then you have the Doctor Who reference at the end, which I really love. The bigger on the inside.
That's like Doctor Who and like some of the alien shit that's been coming out lately. Because there's that one guy that says he went on a UFO and it was like way bigger on the inside, and I'm like, that's so fucking dope. Imagine a party going into a party and like it being like that.
Right, you looks like a small thing, but you get like this big. Oh hell yeah!
That was like I couldn't get that visual out of my head when I was doing that verse, so I'm like, I got to try to fit that in there somehow, and like I just barely squeezed it in at the last line.
I love that line, and like just so many references that you use had me cracking up. That you know, was it drinking on a Monster Mash?
I did the whole drinking on a smoking on a 40, puffing on some Monster hash. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I did the whole flip up thing. I think I said I was puffing on a 40, drinking on some Monster hash.
Yeah, with them, and you were like, getting down like the Monster Mash.
Yeah.
With a monster ass, like it's so gas.
Thank you. I think Billy really likes that part too.
Yeah, it's so good, so good.
Thank you. That's a lot of fun to do. Hopefully,
you like that guy's a legend, man. He blew my mind with that mix. He fucking did, dude.
Shouts out to Ponix. Hopefully more stuff coming with Ponix for sure. Hopefully more stuff coming with you too. I'd love to do more work with you.
Ian and I have talked about future projects, and we definitely plan to do more music. Nothing's quite in the works yet, but we're gonna get there for sure.
I think you and him are a great fit. Because you're already kind of doing some of the EDM esque dancey stuff anyway.
The vision. He sees the vision. Like, really like that in this song in particular, you really get a feel for the producer. Like Androponics is a character in this story that we're telling, and he's a big part of that song. And like, I feel like you can really see his personality. You can really see his style. Like he went for it with this track, and I appreciate the fuck out of it.
Yeah, he's the shit. Shouts out to Ponix, man. I got some other songs coming with him too that I'm excited to actually finish and put out. I need to get on that at some point. All right, let's do the fun questions from Twitter. There were quite a few. There's quite a few fun ones here. Strife right out the gate with the "Are you pro or anti gatekeeping?" We kind of already covered that, but follow up question: why are you pro gatekeeping?
Because you can't trust these hoes, Strife. You can't trust these hoes. All
right. Spoken Realness has magnets. How do they work? Trolling, kinda. He says.
I challenge him to answer the question, because we know why magnets work because of the poles. We don't know how yet.
How do they work? I'm so glad you said that, because that's the thing I love to pull out on normie ass marks when they're like, "Oh, you're a juggalo? How do magnets work?"
No, really. How do they? Could you tell me?
Yeah, that's what I do. I love doing that shit to normies. Like, okay, genius, can you explain to me real quick how they work? And I'll actually, you know what? Pull out your phone and spend some time. I'll wait. I'll wait for you to sit there and explain. I love that you said that.
And that question did make me laugh, though. Shout out fucking
Spoken Realness.
Yeah, shout out Juggalo references for the win.
Little Taffy has some good ones. Little Taffy and Nick Bazaar came with the heat in here. I'll just go ahead and say, what is it like being the prized treasure of the Juggalo community?
Am I? Pretty good.
How does it feel to be immaculate?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know, but.
And when did you decide to be the baddest bitch? These are all from Little Taffy.
That wasn't a decision. That was a decision that the fucking carnival made for me. That was the universe. The universe was like, "Hey, we're gonna make you a bad bitch," and I was like, "All right."
This is a really good one. I think there's some stuff in here from the Creeper, GD fucking Creep. I have a question for the lady. We all see you kill it with the dynamic yoga moves. What's your personal favorite poses and or flows? I'm something of a yoga head myself, and I feel like everyone's got that one position that just hits every single time.
Yeah, no, much love. That account shows me love on my yoga stuff a lot. So yeah, much love to them. And corpse pose is the one that always hits. And that might sound like a joke, but man, a single mom that's working, that corpse pose hits pretty damn good every fucking time. But I will say too, to go further into that, even the most highly trained yogis practice the basics. So, the basics are always what I go to, whether I'm feeling adequate or inadequate in my yoga abilities that day. I can always count on the basics to put me in the right space. So I guess that would be my answer too.
From Phantom Queen, what was the point where you decided you wanted to focus your musical career versus one of the many talents you've displayed within the Juggalo community, and how will you apply those other talents into your musical career? Which I like that second part of the question a lot.
Me too. So I decided for sure, like last year, that I was going to start making music because I could envision that I actually would be able to. And granted, I've been doing Juggalesque now for a few years, and those acts are a labor of love. They take a lot of work, and they're hard to, and you're self-conscious. You're putting your body out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're dressing your body for people to see and undressing it to music that you're picking, and you're in front of juggalos. It's not for the faint of heart. All right. Like, I feel like maybe I don't touch on that enough, how much balls it takes to get on stage and do a burlesque act in front of juggalos. Like, that takes a fucking lot. All right. And especially when I first started this shit, people were like, that's a bad idea. That's a really fucking bad idea, Colin.
Mm.
Sorry, that's my government name. But people would tell me like that's a bad idea, but it's not, you know. But anyways,
Turned out it
um
was a great idea. Turns out it
turned
was a
out
really good idea.
it was a great idea. But I this past gathering, I achieved a goal of mine, which was to perform burlesque to my own song.
Yeah.
That was a goal. I believe I even remember in 2022 telling Dot Strife that that was a goal of mine, just randomly at the gathering. Like, I want to do burlesque to my own song. And then the next year it happened. I was able to fucking do that. And so that was a big milestone for me. And I didn't know if I would like making music or if I would be good at it. You know, you think you will be, but until you can try and until you can like experiment and play around and be a little bit bad at it, you don't know if that's going to be the way you want to go or the direction you want to go. So once I got the opportunity, started doing it and created my first project, I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm going to roll with this. I want to keep doing it. It's fulfilling to me, it's exciting to me, and it's the dream. So that's what I want to do, you know? And I'm all in. When I'm all in, I'm all in.
That's awesome.
I host my own show. That's another thing. I've been desiring to host the Juggalesque show, but when you start a burlesque troupe with people who've never done burlesque before, it's not like I could just like boss everybody around and be like, here, you go up on stage and, you know, do a burlesque act and not do it myself. Like, I had to
jump in as
put,
well.
put my money where where my mouth
Yeah.
is, phrase you want to use. Like, I had to do it too. But now I feel like I've reached a place where I'm really proud of all my burlesque acts. I'm proud of how far I've come in my burlesque. I feel like, I've sort of reached a plateau there. And with music, I'm like, I have all these ideas and I'm like ready to really expand. And I would like to host my show. I would like to introduce these amazing performers and women and kind of be more on the forefront in the
I
future.
think you should be too. I think really think you should be.
Thank you.
All right, Nick Bazaar. I saved the Nick Bazaar questions for last. Nick came with the fire.
God bless.
Uh, what's it like? Once again, similar to Taffy. What's it like being the finest and most gorgeous juggalette in all of our, in all past? Wait. I'm screwing that up. In juggalette of our and all future past generations.
Oh, I read that question, and listen, here's what I have to say about that. We are all mirrors of each other.
Hey.
And the reason that Nick Bazaar sees so much beauty in me and everybody around him is because he's such a beautiful motherfucking person. And that's what I have to say about that.
Great answer. Great answer. Is it hard being the best mom in the whole universe and other universes as well?
Yes.
Why are you so, why are you so gifted at art across so many mediums?
For that answer, I would have to say a couple of reasons if that is true. If it's true, it would be because of curiosity, for one, a little bit of shamelessness, a little bit of fearlessness, a little bit of crazy, probably, and willingness to go for it. And I also have a Virgo moon, and I'm really self-critical. I hold myself to high expectations, and if I don't meet them, there are internal consequences. And so sometimes, I do take a little bit extra time where others may not take that time.
How come the sound of your voice, the cadence of your flow, and your lyrics all come together to make the freshest raps of all time?
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Is my skin worthy of a tattoo as beautiful as the ones you create?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
I've done a tattoo on real skin before. I've done 3 tattoos or so on fake skin. So yes, Nick Bizarre, your skin is more than worthy for anything.
Is that something you're looking to get into more, is the tattooing?
Yeah, yeah. So that's a artistic medium that I'm dabbling in now that I'm really excited about. I love tattoos. I've always loved getting them. I love the art. Always been kind of wanting to try it, but a little bit scared, and kind of just decided to face that fear too. So I'm working
Hell
on.
yeah.
I'm really inspired by Shaggy the Airhead. You know, that man inspires me. He's got a clothing line. He does tattoos, and he makes music, and he's an awesome dad. And I think to myself, if Shaggy the Airhead can do it, maybe I can do it.
Hell yeah. That's fucking fresh, Bridget. All right, last question from Nick Bizarre. Would you like to come over for a fresh slice of tomato on pita?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
He's on- Oh man. Chat, do we have any other questions you would like to get off now? I think that's all that we had. There wasn't really much on Instagram.
I love you.
I think Kevin Core's got a big crush on you though. I can say that.
Kevin Kors needs to remember that I blocked him one time, and if he keeps super weird, he's gonna get blocked again. But much love, dude. Like, I appreciate the love for always, but I'm giving you a second chance because I'm trying to be nice. Please don't fuck it up.
Just chill, Kev. Just chill. Let's see. Let's see, chat. What we got? We got anything else? It's open to the chat. This is your time, chat.
Now is the opportunity. Well, I just want to say that I fucking have mad love for everybody that pulled up today, and thank you, Humble, for doing
Hey,
this. Like, I know probably like it's not easy, you know. So thank you for holding it down for the culture and for showing up for everybody and for always doing such a good job. And
hey,
you know,
thank you.
you're somebody that I consider in our scene to be a very positive force, and to be like, I look up to you, you know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate your advice, and you've already, you know, you've helped me along my journey quite a bit. So thank you so much for having me on, and just for all around being fresh as fuck.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. You know, and I say it to you all the time. I really see something in what you're doing with the music. I think it's going to go places. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't really think that.
Yeah, it's going fun places. That's the goal.
Yeah, it's gonna go places. Because I can see what you're doing, and I think there's a lot there. All right, we got some. I think we do have some questions going on. How are you going to bring? This is a good one from Prez Murderous. How are you going to bring the heat amongst these awesome, inspirational homies in the heat of this legendary competition going on?
I don't know, man. I didn't even expect to make it this far, let alone, you know, be in the top contenders at the moment. So really, I'm just going to take it week by week and send in what I think fits the vibe of the moment. And you know, I'm not the most competitive person out there, especially when it comes to like my friends being in the same competition. But I play cards. I know, you know, I know how to play the game a little bit, and I've watched this competition since they've started having it. So I'm very familiar. So we'll see. We'll see how
You
it
know how
goes
to
for
play. You know how to play the game,
a little
is what
bit.
you're saying. Who would win in a fight, letters or numbers?
Hmm.
This is
Num-
another Wakanda one he brings out every now and again.
numbers.
Numbers. I think that's
Hmm.
the answer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we got any more? I think we might be done. I think we might be done. I think we might be wrapping this up. All right, Bridget. Thank you so much for doing this. It was a pleasure. It was an honor.
Of course.
Um, I really like doing these interviews, and you're definitely someone that I wanted to interview. So thank you for even like hitting me up and being like, "Let's do an interview," like type thing. Like I was definitely excited do this finally.
Timing
'Cause
too. With this song that we're about to drop, I don't have a release date yet. I'm sorry, I've just been so busy. But
yeah, UFO Party. I don't even know if we said the name of it. UFO Party is the song.
Yep.
Dropping real soon. Brigid Bites, Humble Among, Andrew Ponix. Maybe might be a part of the competition if you're paying attention to how the card games are played. I would say you might hear it again probably at some point. Yeah. Anything else, Bridget? Stuff you would like to plug? Where are you on socials? All that kind of good stuff.
Follow me on Twitter at Brigid Bites. Same handle on Instagram. Although I don't spend as much time on Instagram. I am on there and available for following. And aside from that, no, man, thank you so much for having me. Like, it's been awesome. It's always awesome kicking it and chopping it up with you. I think this is the first time you and I have been able to kind of go off on a conversation together. So that's really cool. And I love Emily. So much love. I don't know where she's at, but
she's at work right now. I was trying to get her to come on and do this with me, but she's just been fucking worked ragged right now. We haven't even gotten a proper Habs out in a while.
Oh gosh, I understand. Trust me, but much love to her too. Like, you guys have just been so awesome. I'm so glad that we're friends. And
me too. Thank you, by the way.
Like, thank you for doing them. This shit is I know you've been like experimenting with a lot of different things on this channel, and I think these interviews are fucking awesome, and I hope they continue for sure.
I definitely plan on I just want to keep interviewing interesting people who I think are good for the Juggalodium. I think that's kind of like the goal on the channel at this point, is like highlighting stuff that I think is good for the community and shit.
And you're good at deciphering. You're good at that. I feel like you have a discerning eye, and I don't think that your ego blinds you from anything. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel that you're a humble dude who knows what the fuck is up, and I respect the fuck out of you, man.
Thank you, Bridget. I really appreciate that. I try not to let this fucking ego get to me, but god damn it, sometimes.
A rapper.
Yeah, you gotta talk about how dope you are if you're a rapper. All right. Well, thank you, Bridget. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Having me. Much love to the chat. Like, shout out to everybody. I haven't been able to see the chat, but you know, you guys show me more love than anybody in my life, and I can't thank you enough. Like, in this moment, thank you so much.
All right, y'all. Love you. Whoop whoop.
Bye.
All right.